Coming up on Cronkite NewsWatch.
We head to Washington, D.C., where some Arizonans are going to extreme measures to fight for immigration reform.
Plus, changes are coming to the Arizona lottery, what larger jackpots mean for the state.
And how one Arizona family is directly affected by the crisis in Syria.
In-depth, insightful, innovative. Cronkite NewsWatch starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite NewsWatch. I'm Marcus Espinoza.
And I'm Ashton Bacola. Thanks for joining us. Crowds gathered at the nation's capital today to protest deportation. Cronkite News reporter Ashley Shumway spent the morning at the White House, and she joins us live in our Washington bureau. Ashley, it seemed like quite a scene out there.
7 protesters handcuffed themselves today to the White House fence to demand the end the deportation of undocumented immigrants. All 7 of them were arrested, and 3 of them were from Arizona. The protesters called this an act of civil disobedience. The message they are sending is, the people united will never be defeated. One of the organizers, former Arizona resident Fernando Lopez, tells us the time for action is now.
We had record deportations last year, and also we're having over 1,000 people deported every day.
The protest is a call to the community to come together and fight against racial profiling and civil rights violations. He says the protesters understand the issue better than Washington does.
They don't know what it is to live in these neighborhoods where ICE and the police are terrorizing families, whole families.
The protesters, who stood outside for more than 20 minutes, are expected to be released from jail this evening. 2 of the protesters from Arizona, Narciso Valenzuela Serraco and Jose Francisco Rincon Cantino, recently participated in a 5-day fast for another deportation protest. The other, Maria Cruz Ramirez, is a Phoenix resident and mother of 3. The Senate has passed immigration reform, but John Boehner says the House of Representatives will not be rushed. Live in Washington, D.C., I'm Ashley Shumway, Cronkite News.
A key Arizona lawmaker is responding to a report alleging excessive use of force by U.S. Border Patrol agents. Representative Raul Grijalva says he is disappointed with the investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. Grijalva said that the report was, quote, deeply disturbing, and that he was afraid that the details of the report were simply part of a larger cultural problem.
Well, Arizona is making changes to its current policy of denying driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants. The change will affect people who are eligible for President Obama's Deferred Action Program, which applies to children brought to the United States before the age of 16. A spokesman for the governor said that those with a valid work permit would still be allowed to take the driver's test and get behind the wheel. Overall, 16,000 people in the state are expected to be affected.
Senator John McCain says the Russian chemical weapons initiative won't end the Syrian conflict. McCain spoke at the Council on Foreign Relations in Washington, D.C. The senator says that not applying physical force in Syria takes away any leverage or credibility the United States has. McCain, when referring to the Russian initiative, said, quote, it will not stop Assad and his forces from fighting. It will not stop Iran from fighting. It will not stop Hezbollah troops who have invaded Syria by the thousands from fighting. And it will not stop Russia from continuing to send weapons and other military assistance to the Assad regime. The Russian initiative, which is being pursued through UN diplomatic channels, came after President Obama delayed a vote on authorizing U.S. military action in Syria.
And while that conflict in Syria continues thousands of miles away, many are feeling the effects right here in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Kelly Anderson gives us a closer look at one family who was torn apart by the turmoil.
I miss you so much, it hurts.
Syrian native Maha Al-Khatib talks to her husband over Facebook. This is the only contact she has with him. They were separated a year and a half ago while working at a refugee camp in Jordan.
My husband has been homeless for 3 months.
Al-Khatib was able to leave the camp thanks to her American passport, but her husband couldn't leave.
If my husband was here, he would be working and he would be providing for me, and I wouldn't have to be on welfare.
Circumstances like Al-Khatib's have served as a call to action for some Arizonans. ASU student Zaina Alatar created a humanitarian organization called Save Our Syrian Freedom.
We have done a lot of awareness events, and we've raised about $15,000 for Syrian orphans and refugees.
Alatar attended the recent town hall meeting with Senator John McCain regarding American intervention in Syria.
There's no good option here. There's no, if I had a good option for you, I would tell you exactly what it is.
For Alatar, intervention is the best option.
They're looking for the United States to help them in any way that they can.
However, ASU Assistant Political Science Professor Reed Wood says that U.S. military involvement, rather than a peacekeeping approach, is likely to aggravate the situation in Syria.
The more military pressure the U.S. puts on the Assad regime, the more likely they are to respond violently towards the civilian population.
Short term, Al-Khatib can only think about her husband.
He is the love of my life, my best friend. I pray to God he'll get through this.
In Phoenix, Kelly Anderson, Cronkite News.
Employees of Tempe-based U.S. Airways and American Airlines are taking their case for a merger to Washington, D.C. Pilots, flight attendants, and mechanics were among a group from both companies that reportedly met with more than 50 senators and nearly 300 congressmen. The Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit to block the merger, claiming it would reduce competition and raise ticket prices. Airline employees held a rally outside the U.S. Capitol building, hoping to combat those concerns. Arizona Congressman Ed Pastor spoke at the event and called the DOJ lawsuit a mistake.
I was surprised that the Justice Department decided to bring this lawsuit. Well, I have supported this administration and many of its causes, and I've supported U.S. Attorney Holder in the majority of his attempts. But I got to tell him on this one, he's wrong. He's wrong on this one.
A hearing has been set for the November 25th day in Washington. If the merger goes through, the new airline would be based in Texas. But U.S. Airways has vowed to keep a large presence in the Valley.
Well, homeless and other at-risk teens in the Valley have a new place to turn to for help. Starting today, all 28 of Phoenix's light rail stations are now designated as safe zones for anyone 17 and younger. Gretchen Parsons is live in downtown Phoenix with the details of how this new program will impact the youth in the Valley. Gretchen?
In Phoenix, an estimated 1,700 teenagers are homeless. Most are left to fend for themselves and end up on the streets. Sometimes help is just a call away. Today, Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton and others gathered to announce the expansion of the Safe Place program. What this means is at every Metro light rail station, there will now be an emergency call box where young adults can call for help. A volunteer from Tumbleweed, an organization dedicated to providing a safe refuge for homeless teenagers, will answer and get that teen the help they need quickly.
Because of Safe Place, I'm off the streets. I now attend college full-time. I now have a full-time job. There's no more public restrooms, no more worrying about where I'm gonna sleep at. And I just wanna say Safe Place saved my life.
Last year, 129 teenagers used other Safe Place boxes. Tumbleweed expects that number to skyrocket now with the new boxes at Metro stations. Live in Phoenix, I'm Gretchen Parsons, Cronkite News.
New changes are coming to the Arizona lottery. Officials are looking at changing the Mega Millions game, hoping to increase revenue as well as payouts for players. Cronkite News reporter Pierce Bly has more.
Since lottery officials changed the rules of payouts for Powerball winners, the jackpots have soared, and so have the number of players wanting to score big. Now Mega Millions plans to follow suit, and the odds of winning big are getting bigger. Wednesday's Powerball drawing is estimated at $400 million. It's jackpots like this that are enticing new players. Since January 2012, there have been 27 new million-dollar winners in Arizona. The larger jackpots also mean an increase in revenue for the state. That money goes to health and public wellness and business development. Mega Millions ticket prices will stay the same, but the jackpots will increase from 12 to 15 million. Secondary payouts will also increase by up to 400%. Mega Millions plans to make the change in rules October 22nd. I'm Pierce Bly, Cronkite News.
Coming up on NewsWatch.
How new? We'll show you the updated look of one Phoenix street corner.
And World War II veterans are given a chance to relive the glory days. Find out how after the break.
What if students could see and touch atoms or unlock the secrets of Stonehenge? Now they can. Introducing PBS Learning Media, a next-generation digital service from 8 that lets students dive deeper and changes how they learn. See how Arizona's largest classroom is helping to build the classroom of tomorrow today at az.pbslearningmedia.org. Are you a news junkie, history buff, science or nature lover? Then discover 8 World, an entire channel devoted to bringing the world home to Arizona. Watch 8 World on Cox 88 or over the air via antenna on 8.3. To find out how to tune into 8 World for your satellite or another cable provider, visit azpbs.org/world or call 602-496-2308. Discover your world.
When you support your PBS station, you're supporting possibilities. You're making sure there's a place for independent voices. You're opening children's minds. And you're giving everyone the chance to find inspiration from the arts. To discover more, be more. Support possibilities. Support your PBS station.
One corner near downtown Phoenix is getting a unique makeover, and some say this special type of redevelopment is on the upswing. Cronkite News reporter Leah Durfee joins us live to tell us what's happening next. Leah?
One corner in downtown Phoenix on 7th Street in Osborne has housed a church and school building for more than 100 years. The churches were vacated in 2012, but are now being repurposed to bring new life to the block.
Virginia Senior has seen and heard the construction going on across from Urban Beans and Tortilla Wine Bar for months now. But despite the inconvenience, she is now looking forward to what she thinks the new business will bring to the area.
Bringing in good quality construction is definitely going to help our business. It's going to help the community. It's going to help people feel more connected to this area.
It's called Old School 7. It used to be an old church and school building, but not anymore. It's now going to be home to a Starbucks, a restaurant, and several other businesses. It's called an adaptive reuse project. Instead of tearing down old buildings, business owners are just changing them to fit their needs.
There's higher demand within these denser population pockets. For instance, 7th Street in Osborne has a large population, employment population.
This church had been open since 1948 until it was closed last year. When the building reopens in November, people will gather for a much different reason.
We scooted over to the church at 7th and Osborne. I fell in love with it. I realized that this was where the first Taco Guild was supposed to be.
The old Bethel Methodist Church is being turned into a restaurant by Zitejas Inc. And although Taco Guild will be a new restaurant, they are keeping the stained glass windows, pews, and church doors. Zitejas' CEO, Stephen Micheletti, says the location and its past drew them in.
We kept going back to properties that had a previous history.
A history that will live on as part of these reclamation projects.
During construction, they found time capsules from previous churches, one of which filled with things from the 1800s. The tradition was carried on, and the new businesses will also include time capsules. Live in downtown Phoenix, Leah Durfee, Cronkite News.
Some Arizona drivers can get an ID makeover. Military veterans will have the option to request a new Arizona state identification card or driver's license with the distinguishing mark Veteran added to the front. Veterans applying for a commercial driver's license will also have the option to waive a skills test if they meet the requirements.
A group of World War II veterans from Arizona recently had the chance to tour the nation's capital like never before. And while the group may not look the same as they did some 70 years ago, reporter John Genovese tells us their memories are as clear as ever.
The lights went out in the White House. World War II ended.
A happy point and a historic occasion. Phoenix resident Helen Coit still remembers when World War II came to a close.
They were screaming, they were laughing, they were crying, and they were hugging.
Together with around 30 other Arizona veterans, Coit is part of an honor flight, a chance for vets to see the World War II memorial, all while spending time with their comrades.
And it began 9 years ago with a physician's assistant who was working with World War II veterans, and in asking them, have they seen their no memorial, he found out most either didn't have the funds, they were too ill, or their wife was too ill.
Today, the nonprofit group is in full force with over 100 branches across the country.
Our urgency is to get these vet chairs as soon as possible. Average age of the World War II veterans now is 90 years.
For some, it's a chance to tell their story.
We had so many engagements out there, more than most any other ship, and they give us the privilege of taking the surrender of Japan.
For others, a chance to wander and reflect.
It just has opened up a world for me that I did not know existed.
An honor flight for a group of honorable vets.
That was John Genovese reporting. Right now, the Arizona Honor Flight branch is trying to keep up with demand. Currently, there's around 350 vets on a waiting list, and officials say it could take more than a year for them to get to D.C.
Coming up on Newswatch.
We'll tell you how vacations on the home front can help save you cash and boost local business.
Another hot day in the valley. We got close to that record of 109, but we did break a hot record for the summer. I'll tell you when we can expect to cool down after the break.
My children are growing, and it's so amazing how quick they change. Has PBS made me a better father? The answer is yes. I mean, believe me, kids don't come with instructions. Sometimes you face those moments, it's like, what do I do? And you will be watching PBS Kids and thinking, wow, very wise. Finally, I got the answer. And that's the kind of TV we need to be supporting today.
A tradition of excellence, integrity, and innovation.
The second I came in, I fell in love with the program.
The Cronkite School propels students into the new era of journalism.
Students are learning.
Digital, entrepreneurial, and collaborative labs encourage students to shape the future of the industry, and the industry is watching.
We have come here to meet with students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism.
The Cronkite School, the journalism school for the digital age.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?
Staying close to home is paying off for some Valley residents.
Cronkite News reporter Gabriela Rodelas tells us how staycations have transformed summer tourism.
If there's anyone who knows how the tourism market has changed in the Valley, it's Sean Smith.
I started here when I was 18 years old, literally junior going into senior in high school, working part-time as a door person.
Over the last 15 years, he's seen the trend of local residents staying in the Valley for summer vacations.
But it really is being innovative and having different ideas. There is so much competition in the Valley, especially for this segment, the staycation market, and it is a growing segment over the past several years.
Rachel Pearson agrees. She says it's the Phoenix residents helping businesses survive during the hot summer months when tourists stay away.
Phoenix residents make up about 35% of the hotel resort business during our summer months.
Carla King says she's buying into the whole staycation idea, and the reason? Cost.
And we don't have to travel and spend all that gas and the extra time, and we still have a good time locally.
And she's not the only one taking advantage of lower hotel prices.
Valley residents contribute to the local economy by staying at hotels like this one. Last year, $19.3 billion was spent by overnight visitors, according to the Arizona Office of Tourism.
Smith says he's glad he has a job during these dry summer months, and all because people have decided to stay closer to home.
We'll sell out, I'd say majority of the summer, every Friday, Saturday. We'll be completely sold out.
Now, the goal is to try and sell out the rest of the year. In Phoenix, Gabriela Rodiles, Cronkite News.
And it's not just the hotels. Visitation to Arizona's parks will be increasing as the weather cools down. But it hasn't cooled down yet. I was outside today, you guys, and it was hot.
Yeah, it's definitely still been hot, and I actually heard it was a record summer this year, correct?
That's right, Marcus. The National Weather Service announced today that we had an all-time record-breaking summer. Now that means that we had some of the hottest temperatures from June to August. Even we topped out at 119 degrees on June 29th. So you can just see how hot it was this summer. summer. Now that average overall temperature is that record that we broke, and we also broke that record average low, which was 84 degrees. Now because of those warm daytime temperatures, we had warmer overnight lows. And if you take a look at this picture from viewer Lindsay Ivins, you can see Central Avenue and just how close those downtown Phoenix buildings are. So there's no way that that heat can escape. So we will have those warmer night temperatures. Right now we're about 104 degrees, and we do have that 6% humidity. So we are dropping in that humidity just a little bit, so it will cool off through the weekend. Now, right now, there isn't a whole lot of moisture in Arizona, but we do have that low front coming over the high country, and that will provide some scattered thunderstorms through the night, but we do have tropical storm Manuel just hovering above Mazatlan. That is going to come up to Cabo and drop some temperatures through the weekend and even maybe bring some moisture to Pima County. But right now, here's your highs all over the state. We are 104 in Phoenix, 99 in Tucson. Now tonight we'll cool off just a little bit in Phoenix at 84 degrees. But here's your 5-day forecast. I know this doesn't look like fall-like weather, but you can see those overnight lows. We're getting to those 70s. We haven't even seen 70s since the beginning of summer, and we'll hit about 100 degrees on the first day of fall. Now that's it for your forecast. I'm Marissa Scott, Cronkite Weather.
Coming up on Newswatch.
The Coyotes scrimmage tonight, but goals won't be the focus. We'll explain. And the Horizon volleyball team has skyrocketed up the national rankings this year. Their story next.
One tremendous thing about PBS is that it makes art accessible by putting it on a platform where millions of people can access it for free. And we need it. We need music, we need dance, we need great theater for our soul, for joy in our lives. A lot of people flip on PBS and hear or see something that wakes up that integral part of being a human being, which is enjoying the arts of other human beings. So I'm grateful for PBS as an artist and as a viewer.
I came to the United States when I was 24 years old. I did not speak any English. I felt very, very lost, really not knowing what to do with my life. One day on TV, there was Sesame Street. Ernie and Grover and Cookie Monster, and it's not only that I learned to speak in English, now I know how to live in the United States, so this is how you do it. Now I'm powerful. Now I know I can do anything I want. I will make myself learn how to do it. And I got that from PBS. I bought my first set of paints and brushes, and I practice. My path is children's books, and I have found who I wanted to be, which is that person who has something to say. PBS and Sesame Street, they open up the world to me.
It's official after weeks of speculation. Todd Graham has agreed to a contract extension, keeping him here at Arizona State into 2018. The extension comes on the heels of the Sun Devils entering the rankings for the first time in Graham's tenure. The only hurdle left to finalize the contract is an approval from the Arizona Board of Regents. That's expected to come on September 26th. And fans of the Sun Devils have the power of choice in determining which uniforms ASU will wear on October 12th when they host Colorado. The three choices include black and maroon, white and maroon and gold. Fans can vote online at azcentral.com, and the polls are open until September 30th. The results will be announced following ASU's game with Notre Dame on October 5th. Time's running out for the D-backs, who, believe it or not, are still fighting and have a very slim chance of making it into the playoffs. But that dream took a hit last night against the Dodgers. This was the scene last night. Arizona ace Patrick Corbin took to the mound, but he got torched early. Matt Kemp rips a first-inning double into left, scoring 2. Kemp would go 4 for 4 in his first start since July. Corbin's day wouldn't get any better from there as Juan Uribe follows up. He hits a 2-run bomb to left field. Corbin was pulled into the third as the Dodgers pulled away, winning 9-3. The Snakes will turn to Brandon McCarthy tonight. A loss would make the Dodgers the National League West champions. And the Phoenix Coyotes are holding an inter-squad scrimmage tonight, but this game goes far beyond hockey, serving as a benefit for the families of the 19 firefighters killed in the Yarnell fire. Scrimmage is set to start at 7 p.m. tonight at jobbing.com arena. Tickets for the game are just $5, and all of the proceeds will benefit the families of the Granite Mountain Hotshots killed in June. Donations can also be made via text message by sending the word Coyotes to 68494 or online at phoenixcoyotes.com. The Coyotes open their season at home on October 3rd. One Valley team has thrust itself into the national spotlight. Robbie Baker takes a look at how the Horizon volleyball team has caught the eye of the country.
The Horizon Huskies have built a volleyball powerhouse, a powerhouse that is slamming its competition, and coaches nationwide are noticing.
And it's exciting for us as a group, and I think for the school, but it's all about coming out here and having fun.
As a matter of fact, they're so good, they're ranked in the top 5 in the country. While the notoriety is great, senior captain Sierra Nobley says the national ranking comes with added pressure.
I think it's going to bring more pressure on ourselves, from ourselves, because we kind of know that we're pretty good, but we have to prove it to everyone else.
The Huskies have gone to the state championship 4 years in a row, winning 3 times. Coach McKenzie says it's taken more than just skill for her program to get where it is.
There's a lot of luck involved. You have to be healthy, you have to work hard. You know, there's so many things involved in high school sports, so it takes it all to make it happen.
With a core group of returning seniors, Coach McKenzie tells me this is the most talented team she's ever coached. Nobley says it's not only her coach's drive, but her teammates' passion is what drives them to be better.
They're working on getting better every single day, and it's not just a hobby, it's something that they are really good at and really want to pursue.
The Huskies hope to add another banner to their rafters, and their team-first mentality may help them do just that.
It can't happen if they're all about me, and they're not. They're all about everybody.
And it's that team mentality that has them where they are. In Phoenix, I'm Robbie Baker, Cronkite Sports.
Horizon's varsity team will graduate 7 seniors this year, but fans shouldn't worry. The JV team is full of young talent, ready to carry on the winning tradition. The team plays again on Friday.
Well, that's it for Cronkite Newswatch tonight.
Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.